All right, guys. So there's been some interesting news in regards to the dynamic and the relationship between President Trump and Governor Ron DeSantis down in Florida. Okay, as not just the mainstream media, but also the right-wing media has played up the idea that there is some rift between DeSantis and Trump, and particularly things have again allegedly heated up with the collapse of the apartment building in Surfside, right? That terrible tragedy that has resulted in dozens of lives being lost, and also many people being missing. Okay, and apparently Trump, who had his rally in Florida yesterday, again, according to the Washington Examiner, DeSantis was fueling with Trump over the Florida rally. Now, the day after Trump's rally, Fox News also comes out with an interesting headline regarding how Trump did not mention DeSantis at the rally. Now, listen, I'm not trying to play up that there's any beef between DeSantis and Trump. I just don't know. I'm simply just covering what is being said and going to give my opinion on it. Okay? Because regardless of what people want to say, they are on a collision course when it comes to 2024. So let's read a little bit more here. And this was written about a week ago, guys. So I just want you guys to kind of understand the context and the background of what is kind of leading all this speculation. Former President Donald Trump is rejecting pleas from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis to postpone a campaign-style rally this weekend, some 200 miles from the Miami suburb, where an international search and rescue mission is evacuating bodies from the site of a collapsed seaside condominium. DeSantis' office has made a direct plea to the former president's team, calling on it to postpone the Saturday event in Sarasota. One Florida Republican bluntly said Trump and his team need to read the room. Quote, the government is getting tested here as to how far he's going to be pushed before he breaks ranks with President Trump. And he has to be very careful because this is Trump country. This source said the base loves the president, but they equally love Ron. It's a showdown going on right now. For now, the Trump camp is holding firm. Quote, nobody wants to cancel, a source close to Trump told the Washington Examiner. The dynamic between the former President Trump and the governor is complicated. Trump is on a 2024 presidential nomination, but so is DeSantis. Trump is both a fan of DeSantis and cognizant that the Florida leader has gained popularity with conservatives across the country for his handling of the coronavirus with policies that were less restrictive than most other states. This situation is further complicated by a former president who might use the rally to send a message to a protege and a popular state executive who could use it to stand up to the former reality TV star. DeSantis, a 42-year-old former Navy officer, is threading a needle with one eye on Trump and another on his re-election campaign. Okay, so essentially what's going on here is that allegedly there was conflict about whether or not Trump should actually hold the rally at all, right? The rally in Sarasota. And allegedly, Ron DeSantis was telling Trump, hey, this probably is not the best thing to do right now, right? But Trump went on to hold a rally anyways, right? And Trump and Ron DeSantis, their teams have been denying that there's any type of tension going on or that there was any issues whatsoever. In fact, Trump has came out and said that he told, Ron DeSantis not to attend the rally, okay, to take care of Surfside, okay, to be where he needs to be as governor. That's what Trump is saying. And again, like I said, Fox News ran with his headline saying that Trump makes no mention of DeSantis at the Florida rally, basically trying to perpetuate that there's some type of beef going on here. So let's read a little bit more here. While he gave shout outs and highlighted plenty of his political allies in Florida, Trump stayed quiet about DeSantis, who didn't attend the rally. While Trump was in Sarasota, the governor stayed in Surfside on Florida's Atlantic coast as he attended services for victims of the horrific condominium collapse. The governor's office said that DeSantis wanted to attend the rally, but decided amid the tragedy in Surfside and the looming hurricane headed towards Florida not to attend the rally. Quote, he spoke with President Trump, who agreed that it was the right decision because the governor's duty is to be in Surfside, DeSantis press secretary Christina Pershaw said. And in an interview on Newsmax ahead of his rally, Trump said that he told the governor not to attend. DeSantis, a conservative congressman who was narrowly elected Florida governor in 2018, thanks in part to support from Trump, has seen his popularity surge among Republican voters in Florida and around the nation, thanks in large part to his steering of his state amid the coronavirus pandemic and his combative pushback against COVID restrictions. That's fueled speculation about a possible national ambitions and a potential 2024 Republican presidential nomination run by DeSantis. And DeSantis recently edged out Trump in a 2024 straw poll at a conservative gathering in Colorado that could eventually put the two allies on a potential collision course. Okay, so what's the takeaway here? Well, the takeaway is that the mainstream media is trying to perpetuate that there's some type of beef between Trump and Ron DeSantis. Now, whether or not that's actually true, I have no clue whatsoever. But I will say this. In my mind, right, understanding Trump and Trump's personality, I mean, I would be a fool to sit here and say that Trump is not aware that Ron DeSantis could possibly pass him and become more popular than him and beat him in a 2024 primary. And in my opinion, again, this is just my humble opinion here. That's the last thing that Trump wants, right? The last thing Trump wants is to lose a Republican primary, okay? Because him losing a Republican primary essentially would signify that basically his reign as king of the party, essentially, which is what he's been this whole time, will be over, right? It will be over because there's a new guy in town that's more popular than him that the voters want, right? So in my opinion, that's the last thing Trump would want, right? Trump would probably rather lose the general election again than to lose the Republican primary, right? Trump is supposed to be a shoo-in to win the Republican primary, but with Ron DeSantis in the mix, that's not guaranteed anymore, right? It would actually maybe be close, okay? I still think that if the election was held today, I think that Trump would still beat DeSantis. But again, considering that we're 2 to 3 years away from primary season, there's still plenty of room to run for somebody like Ron DeSantis, whom, again, is running for re-election in 2022, which is going to be good for keeping his name out there, keeping him in the minds and hearts of the American people. And his popularity is only going to go up from here, right? Unless he makes a major mistake. And in my opinion, with Trump being banned on social media, being censored, it's going to be tough, right? It's going to be tough for him to continue to hold his grip on the party. Now, like I said, does that mean that they're actively beefing with each other right now? Does that mean they're actively upset with each other or going after each other? No. But what I'm saying is that I just would not be surprised if in 2 or 3 years, things start to take a different turn. Because essentially at that point, if DeSantis decides he wants to run in 2024, I would think that the establishment will probably get behind DeSantis. And with that being said, it will be a full-blown war of the establishment versus Trump, right? Because, again, Ron DeSantis, for as good as he's performing as Florida governor, he is a part of the establishment. And people have to keep that in mind when it comes to DeSantis. I like DeSantis. I'm just saying, he's a part of the establishment. So, with that being said, the establishment, we all know they don't really like Trump. And they're going to do whatever they can to get rid of Trump. And they could see DeSantis as the guy to do that, right? That's possibly what could happen here. So I'm just saying, again, like I said, I don't know if there's anything going on. I'm going to take Trump's word for it. I'm going to take Ron DeSantis' word for it that, hey, you know, they're just working out the kinks. There's nothing really going on. There's no tension right now. But like I said, guys, just don't be surprised that in a couple years, you know, these two are going to be head to head in the primary. And when you're competing against one another, you know, things could not be so friendly. So we'll see. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.